It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. I'm just laughing at some of the basketball stuff you guys are putting in the chat. Not my world, not my thing. And it makes it way more entertaining because it's like, it's not my world. So all the basketball stuff, it's just more like entertainment for me, where the football stuff's like personal. So it's just kind of cracking me up seeing some of the basketball stuff. And we'll get into it. What an unmitigated total disaster. Just, I don't even follow it that close. Thank God. I can't afford to lose their hair. But I mean, what a total disaster. And I have some thoughts about what happened last night with the basketball team too. Also, a couple other things. Jeremiah Love is the darling of the combine and the early NFL draft talk and all this stuff. Jeremiah Love is the darling of the process. So far from the media coverage I've seen, lines up well with Mike Goolsby saying rough run for him finishing at Notre Dame, but Goolsby's like, I feel like the NFL is going to be a totally different story. He's going to be front and center, and it's just going to be great for him. And so I think that's interesting. I'm going to get into some of that. And then I want to talk about Marcus Freeman. We're entering year 5, and I want to know from you guys any expectations you have for Marcus Freeman. What has changed from year 1 and he's new and there's a learning curve and all that, all the tough lessons we've gone through, very public tough lessons Marcus Freeman's had to learn. What are your expectations for him entering year 5? What do you want to see him tighten up, be better at? What do you have less patience for now that you may have had in year 1, 2, or 3 or whatever? So, when you talk about, natty or bust, it's a title or bust year, whatever. Well, what does that look like tangibly? What does it look like practically to get you there through the year? Or if you bust, because all the stats say if it's title or bust, the odds are on the bust, right? There's one of you and 135 of everybody else. The odds are on bust. What does that look like? What does that look like? If it ends up being where they don't make it, what does that look like? So I want to get into some of these things today. Going to be a little bit of a shorter show, could go a little more than an hour, and then I got some things to do. Taxes to take care of with the tax man. So let's get into some of this. I see Chicago's very own's with us, Jared, JT. I want to know what you guys think. I know Dr. John says, can't believe it's year 5. Man, it goes quick. I'm telling you, you get into these football cycles, off season, in this season, the actual season flies by, and then you're back in the cycle. You're already in year 5. And the way we all think of Marcus Freeman, look at Marcus Freeman's got to adapt with these years. And I'm wondering from you guys if there's some indicators, some specific markers you're looking for from him to show year 5, man, should be hitting your stride. Training wheels off, learning experiences in the barn. You should be refining this thing by the time you get to year 5, 6, refining it. And so those are some of the things on my mind. So let's get into this. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps John out as well. Notifications on, that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, rat, Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it if you don't want to see my dumb face. Notre Dame on that site. Read all about it. Articles for you every single day. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Most unique college football ecosystem there is. And you're in the off season and your mind strays. You get into all sorts of deep, weird territory you don't have time for in the regular season. There's a lot of meat on the bone, folks. There's a lot of meat on the bone. Thanks for joining me first thing this morning. I do appreciate it. Let me just do the Jeremiah Love part. Then I'll go to you guys. I want to make sure I get you in. And you can go on with your day, and then I will and then I'll wrap it up here and go through some of what I have. The first thing is, yeah, Tyler says, I'm ready for Irish Saturdays to be back. Man, it's a long time. It's a long time to Wisconsin. Just get us to spring ball, to at least give us some football. And then May to August is just going to be brutal. May to August is just going to be brutal. There's so much unique anticipation for what this year is going to be on the football field. It's going to be a brutal long summer. At least spring ball is going to sustain us a little bit in the middle. But man, it's going to be a long ass grind. So we're just going to have to get in our own minds and get through it together. Okay. I want to talk Jeremiah Love first. I see people are saying number 1 on Kuiper's board, number 1 on McShay's board, all this stuff. I'm telling you, he's the darling of the draft, and I love to see it. I was at the gym the other day when they have the bank of TVs, and I'm in between doing something, taking a breather, and I look up at the TVs. You have ESPN talking about the combine and the draft and all this, and it's a Jeremiah Love segment. Then you look over here and you have the NFL Network, and they're talking about it, Jeremiah Love segment. It blew my mind. Simultaneously on these two shows, they could talk about anything in the world of college football and the NFL and the draft and the combine. And both of them are highlighting Jeremiah Love. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I am going to say this. The more of that I see, the more frustrated I get with Jeremiah Love's last year at Notre Dame. Not getting a chance to show in the playoff, the weird early start the team had that took momentum out of the sails of his Heisman campaign individually, but also the team. The more hype I see about Love, the more hype I see about Love in the NFL, the more frustrated I get about how that last year ended. But I wish nothing but the best for all of our guys. Hope they get drafted, make your money, increase the profile of Notre Dame and Freeman and the talent we're putting out in the league. I'm all for all of it. But Jeremiah Love's special, and I want that guy. I really hope he is the star everybody thinks he's going to be. $5 holler from the Domer. The lessons learned from the past have to be put behind us. Time to live up to full potential. Yeah, and I wrote an article about this early this morning. You got to get through September unscathed. That needs to be a thing from now on. I went through all the years and all the weird September losses. It's all got to be over. That's like one of the things that I look at of what do I expect from Freeman? What do I need him to do different or whatever? You got to get through these Septembers in better playoff position. It's unsustainable to lose early in September as an independent and then be like, well, we can win 10 or 11 in a row every year and it'll be fine. Unsustainable path. And I know a lot of times it's like, well, that's when the other teams can play us because they're in a conference. They can only play you early. So Notre Dame kind of, fine. You got to be ready for the moment more than we have been. And I do think you're done with losing to these teams like Marshall and Northern Illinois. I do think that's becoming a thing of the past because Notre Dame just has too much talent to allow that to happen now. I think, right? When you say that, you'll be surprised. But I think you're moving past that. But September's got to be, it's just got to be clean slate in a better position. And this year's schedule should allow you to do that. So I don't know. It's interesting. And then let's address a couple comments. I'll go right to your calls. Ryan says, lucky for me, I don't care at all about basketball. Me too. It doesn't. I want Notre Dame to be good in everything. Like, sure. And when we were making tournament runs, I'm watching it and all that. But if they don't, it doesn't move the needle to me emotionally at all. The basketball's never, it just doesn't. It's Notre Dame football. So I want them to be good, but I'm not stressing out over the basketball like some of you are. V-Dub, are you pissed about the Bears leaving Chicago? And I actually like it. Number one is it's not a done deal. I am shocked the amount of political shows and podcasts and sports shows and podcasts that are saying it's a done deal. The Bears are moving out of Illinois. They're moving out of Chicago for sure. That's not even a doubt. They're moving out of Chicago. It's either going to be the Arlington racetrack site or Indiana. They're done with Chicago. On the lakefront, that's over. Soldier Field, that's done. So they're out of Chicago no matter how this goes. It's Arlington or Indiana. Personally, I would find it immensely entertaining if they went to Indiana right across the border to permanently embarrass politicians in Illinois for letting it happen. I'm all for that. I want the financial mismanagement of Chicago as a city and Illinois as a state is offensive. Somebody, I want to wear that. So I want whoever is involved in the politics, I want you to wear being the group so bad at navigating Illinois politics, you lost the Bears to another state. I would find that really entertaining. Personally, I'd find that fulfilling because not everybody's into politics to understand what's going on in the state. Everybody's into the Bears. It's the one thing everyone has their mind around is supporting the Bears in this state. The politics, not everybody's into the nuts and the bolts and who's doing what and all the dumb stuff going on. Everybody around here is familiar and cares about the Bears. I want the state of Illinois and the people in charge to wear the embarrassment of losing them to Indiana by political missteps. It would be awesome. So I'm all for that. On a personal level, I am much more likely to go to a Bears game in Hammond than I am at Soldier Field. I'm not doing it. I refuse to drive into that mess, have nowhere to park, one way in, one way out, 12-hour day because it's in this stupid city. For me, Hammond would be 35 to 40 minutes straight north and a couple minutes east. I am on the furthest east tip of the furthest east county in Illinois. It would be so easy for me, 35, 45 minutes straight north, 2 minutes east, and you're there. I won't have to mess with the city at all coming from the south suburbs. So wouldn't bother me at all. And it probably wouldn't even be Bears games. It would more likely be concerts and other stuff they have there. But yeah, they're done with Chicago already. Get that out of your mind. It's Hammond or the racetrack. And I'll put my money. I don't care what the narratives are about Indiana and it's 1 inch from the goal line. I will put my money on the property they already spent like $250 million on buying or whatever in the racetrack. I can't go against the property they already spent hundreds of millions of dollars on as the favorite. I believe there's a lot of games being played here with the politics, pressure, who has the leverage. The state of Illinois kicked this project down the road 3 years now from when the Bears bought the Arlington property, wanted to move on it. The state slow played it, thought they had the leverage. Now the Bears think they have the leverage to play Indiana and Illinois. Super interesting to me. Interesting piece of land, too. Interesting piece of that Chicago Skyway crossing the border. You're above everything. You got the water and then the lake. It's a really interesting piece of property. So I don't know what's going to happen. I won't be mad if they move. I would enjoy it. Easier drive for me. An embarrassment for everybody involved with politics in Illinois on all sides. I'm all for it. Let them wear that shame the rest of their life of being the ones who let the Bears leave the state. I love the concept of it. I love it because it crosses all lines. It isn't just politics anymore. It crosses all those lines and shines a light on just how embarrassing Illinois operates. Okay, so I'm all for that. But I am amazed. National politics shows. And the headline is the Bears leaving Illinois. That is not a done deal. It is not a done deal. And people are speaking about it like it is. Are the Sox next? That's another one. They're looking to get out of their bad stadium deal and go somewhere too. And Indiana's been talked about there. Whatever. So I think that's all interesting. The Bears have made tactical mistakes in this process. The state has also made mistakes. Both parties have played this poorly, timed it poorly, and used their leverage poorly. Both sides. It is a microcosm of how the state of Illinois operates. What a cluster this has turned into for both parties. I'm here to watch it on an entertainment level. That's where I'm at with it. So but I can't believe national politics people trying to nail the state of Illinois that they lost the Bears. It is not official, and I can't believe they're saying it is because it's not. Okay. All right. Next. This basketball thing is embarrassing. It's not my thing. I'm not emotional. I don't care. Fire the guy. It's too embarrassing. You're too bad. You're losing at home by 40-something points. The guy's pulling a Charlie Weiss in the middle of embarrassing the university. You shred your leg. What a total joke. What a total joke. So you got to look at it this way. If you're a big Notre Dame basketball fan, here's how I want you to look at this. Look at that beatdown you took yesterday against a real team. Look at it the way I looked at the end of the Weiss era. By the end of the Weiss era, my brother and I were sitting there in that stadium saying to each other, we're playing a not a great team. I hope we lose. Me and my brother going, the best thing for this program today is to lose to this team that's not even good. Because you knew the Weiss era was over. And if they won enough games to convince anybody to bring him back, you knew it wasn't going anywhere. You weren't recruiting at a good enough level. You weren't competitive at a high level. It was over, and everybody knew it was over. You needed to sacrifice the individual pain of losing that game for the bigger gain of getting that guy out of there. So that's how I'm challenging you guys to look at the basketball thing. The more embarrassing it is, look at it as a good thing because it's more evidence to get this guy out of here. Wasn't he the one, we're taking receipts that we're going to be good later? Bro, there ain't no returns on what you've given. So that's the way you need to look at it. I'll never remember the pain of rooting for the team I love to lose games because I knew it was best for the program overall. That's where this is at. So he's just got to be out of here. Somebody said John for comptroller. I don't even know what that is. Is it a combination between controller and computer? I don't even know what a comptroller does. I'm more of a regular troller, not a comptroller. So that's where I'm at with the basketball. Let that flip it. It's painful, but look at that blowout as another step to getting a clean slate. Okay. So it is embarrassing and it is bad, but you got to look at it that way. Jay Carr, John, it's test for Pete. Will he have the stones to fire Shrewsbury? This affects football, shows the mentality of the AD. How could you not? How could you not? There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no evidence it's getting better. There is none of that. And having the stones to fire, will he have the stones to fire Shrewsbury? Here's my question about that. Where is the pressure coming from to not fire him? Like, that's what I don't. It's like, will you have the stones to fight? What is he, your best friend? What, like, where? I don't see any other pressure points or any arguments on the other side of it. So where's the pressure coming from? Are you going to tell me Notre Dame doesn't have the money to go hire another coach or something? So I just don't understand, like, where is there any pressure being exerted to not fire the guy? It's failing. He's failing. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. Finish the 4-year No. Unless Babakwa figures basketball's not that big of a deal here, we'll ride it out one more year. Who cares? I don't know. But like, I just don't see any public pressure on the other side of supporting the guy. Ryan says his buyout's $10. But like, he has a 4-year deal and you failed in 3. Sorry. You're out of here. So I don't know, man. It's still, John, I'm just saying, if Pete doesn't fire him, it's an awful look. Yeah, show some backbone. Show some backbone, man. WQ. John's new intro song should be Let's Gel by Collective Soul. The Let's Gel thing, it drives me absolutely insane. And I got a video coming out on Patreon tomorrow where I wasn't planning on yelling about it, and then I yelled about it. I'm blaming Sly Fox for that. Every single day, Sly puts some gel comment in here, and he doesn't mean my hair. He knows what he's doing, and he does it every time. All right, I'm going to blow my nose. We're going to bring Chicago's very own in here. The mayor of Chicago, he can get it all figured out. So let me do that. Be back in 2 seconds, and we'll get into this. Oh, here we go. Tom, good morning, brother. Yo. Tom. I
can't understand you.
Hey, John.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
I got to call back. I'm technical difficulties.
Okay, go ahead. Jared, what's going on? Good morning.
Hey, what's up, John? How's it going, buddy?
It's going good, man. It's in a weird, we're in a weird time in space here. You're out of the season. You're not into spring yet. It's a weird time. It's messing with my mind.
Well, I'm just gonna start by saying you said earlier that you're at the gym, and I was just thinking to myself, John's looking a lot more swole these days. So
I appreciate that, man. I did last summer. I really did beef up like 20 pounds of healthy muscle. Ate right, took the protein, worked out. We went 0-2, and I dropped 17 pounds in 2 weeks just from the stress, man.
hey, I'm with you, John. We gotta bulk up and get in shape and get ready for this season. I feel like we're all hoping that we're gonna be into this year. But
Yeah,
my thing about Marcus Freeman is he's got to figure September out, man. That's my biggest knock on him. He's got to stop losing games in September, man. He's just got to stop doing that. In
it's
his
really
four
it's
seasons,
it's
yeah.
so interesting you bring that up. I literally submitted a draft article before I went live here saying Notre Dame needs to figure out September. And just looking at if you drop a game, what the pressure that puts on the rest of the year, if you're an independent, especially, you have almost no margin for error. And we've done it every year.
Yeah, we're putting ourselves in a position where we got to run the table. That's 2 years in a row. In his 4 seasons at Notre Dame, in 3 of them, he started either 0-2 or 1-1. I mean, just unacceptable. Just unacceptable. I mean, I love Marcus Freeman. I know we all do, but that's the one knock on him. He's gotta stop doing that.
Yeah. And some of it is when you're an independent and you're Notre Dame, if you're going to get some of those bigger games, some of those conference teams will say, we can only schedule you early in the year before we get into conference play. There's always some of that. And it's like, that makes it tough, but it's high risk, high reward, right? Like you win that A&M game a couple years ago on the road to start, and you're a top 5 team. Like that's the reward. Last year, you drop 1 or 2, and look what you did to the whole year. The gas is out of the tank. The wind's out of the sails. You got to be perfect. And even then, 10 wins in a row wasn't enough. Got to be some lessons learned.
You can't convince me just because we're playing big games at the beginning, because if we got losses to Marshall and Northern Illinois in September. It's a September thing with Marcus Freeman. It's not just the big games. Just it's a September thing. I don't know what we're doing in fall camp or what's going on there, but it's got to get fixed.
Yeah, it's like you saw my computer screen when I was typing it. I one of my paragraphs was about how are you preparing / evaluating yourself in August, in the weeks leading up to the opening game. There's something there that hasn't been done right, to where you're not fully prepared as a team, and or you have belief in some players that you find out should not be playing in those early games. They can't hang. You got to redo the way you're evaluating all this and make it so that doesn't happen anymore. You can't afford it as an independent, especially. You can't afford it.
My expectations was last year after Northern Illinois. I figured my expectations were like, okay, we're done with this. Marcus Freeman is not going to let this happen again. And then Miami and Texas A&M happened this year. And it's like, okay, we're right back to it. I mean, that's the one thing that's given me pause.
Let me ask this. And you could tell me absolutely not, John, no, if that's your honest answer. But let me ask this question. Do you have any flexibility on last year's start, saying first time starting quarterback, rough 2 games you could have to do that? New DC learning his personnel, rough first 2 games to be in that situation. Do you have any understanding or leeway for those circumstances? Or is it, I don't care who's playing, Freeman's got to figure it out better and it's on him and I'm not accepting it no matter what? Or do you have any leeway, understanding on that?
I can give some leeway for the Miami game, right? In that regard, first start, that Miami defense ended up being really stinking good last year. You saw that defense lead them to a title game.
Yep.
I can give some leeway there. I mean, that defensive line Miami brought in was absolutely out of this world. And that's tough for CJ Carr to go with on the first game. I can see some leeway there. And then the Texas A&M game is complete opposite. The defense struggled, and look, I don't think Texas A&M was world beaters, right? You struggled against Marcel Reed. Like, Marcel Reed, he's not an elite quarterback, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't think there was any reason to struggle there, especially when the offense, CJ Carr played really good in that game.
I've said this before and I'll say it again, reflecting on this year, this last year, I felt, as much as it hurts me, I felt like Miami genuinely earned that win against us. They were more prepared, more put together, and the handful of plays that tipped the game, they made them all. We made none. They genuinely played better and deserved and wore us down at the end and got what they needed, won that game. The A&M one's totally unacceptable. You had a week in between as well to be able to figure things out, and it got worse. So, like, I just hope that's over. You're in year 2.
Yeah.
You don't have any of those defensive excuses. The new guy doesn't know his personnel. That's over, right? It better be.
Well, I'm hoping that's the one thing that gives me pause, because I think we're all in agreement that this team could be very special this year. That's just the one thing that gives me pause, is if we can handle September, I'm pretty good. I'm going to let you go, John, but I wanted one more thing I want to say. I'm going to be going to the BYU game because I only live 2 hours from Provo. So, and that's a bucket list item for me. I've always wanted to go on a road game and just be surrounded by the opposing fans. I've always wanted to do that. So Notre Dame's in my neck of the woods. I've been waiting for Notre Dame to play a road game around me.
Jared, they want a piece of Notre Dame because they wanted Notre Dame in that Pop-Tart Bowl, and they want a piece of Notre Dame. They are going to have a chip on their shoulder because Notre Dame ducked that game for bigger philosophical points to prove, not because they were scared of BYU, but BYU's looking at it as they ducked us and we wanted a piece of them. That's going to be a good environment. You're going to have fun at that one.
Well, here's the thing, John. Now that I'm going to this game, I've been looking at the schedules. BYU and Notre Dame have theoretically shouldn't have a loss on that schedule if the teams are what they're supposed to be. I think BYU will be just outside the top 10. Notre Dame will be top 5 team preseason. They'll both be about, if the things go the way they should be, both teams will be about 6-0 headed into that game. Hopefully, top 10 matchup. I'm hoping there's a college game day there because that's another bucket list item for me. I want to attend a college game day, so that's going to be. I mean, I'm praying every day for that. That's going to be awesome.
And then run it down the road even further. If you take an honest look at both schedules, Miami and Notre Dame should probably both be undefeated when they match up in early November. I'm serious. Miami's doesn't play a tough team till Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has the Provo trip, but both of those teams should be undefeated for that November 7th matchup.
I think Miami will be a better team than they were last year too, because Miami's offense wasn't championship caliber. I think they're gonna have a better offense to go along with a pretty good defense this year. I think Miami in that aspect is gonna be a little bit better of a team too. So and I want to win that game.
Yeah, and usually when I'm going to do a tailgate, I want really good warm weather. I am all for tailgating in the crappiest, coldest weather possible for that Miami game, just so those Miami boys have to play in it that night. So it's the only tailgate I'll do where I'm like, give me the bad weather, please.
Absolutely. Well, hell yeah, John. I got to go here, but thanks for letting me on, man. Big fan of the show. Let's go Irish. Let's get it done. Come on, Freeman.
Really appreciate it, man. Jump in anytime. Thanks for joining. Have a good one. Oh, that's a good one. That's a new name. I don't recognize Jared on here. I'm still mad at WPP's lunch lady neighbor, the Miami insider that said they were done. Then he said things changed. The circumstances changed. By the way, I think WPP gave me up for Lent. You ain't going to see him till after blue and gold. So, but yeah, he said, hey, the circumstances changed. The powers that be reverse course on you. What do you want me to say? D-Rock. Ash is still on my watch list. I get this feeling he'll try to experiment again in a game or two with that BS soft defensive coverage. D-Rock, even if this happens, I'm going to try and make you feel a little better about it. Even if this happens, the slate of games to start the year, you don't need to be as perfect to win them as you did in the first 2 last year. So I'm hoping any personnel experimentation, or you go with the guy and realize it was wrong and you got burned or whatever, I am hoping there's enough margin there you can win anyways and withstand some of that learning curve in the moment. You should have margin and leeway you did not have the first 2 games last year. So that's where I'm at on it. All right, let's see if Chicago's is ready. What's up, Tom?
Pardon me, I had to take a call, so I had to jump off.
That's okay. What's up, buddy?
Well, I'm just sitting there to be a proud American this morning, sitting here in the Socialist People's Republic of Chicago, fighting them off one at a time. John, you brought it up, talking about politics and the Bears thing. Listen, this is not done. Okay, I could teach a graduate level course on Chicago politics and Cook County politics.
You got a lot of experience with that.
44 years, John, and I'm here to tell you that there is a woman that will remain nameless that's involved in the negotiation process, and she was responsible for bringing Google and Boeing to the city of Chicago. She's a Chicago kid. She fights for Chicago, but she has to play. She's got to navigate the murky waters of the Pritzker administration down in Springfield. And I'm here to tell you, this is what they do. They divide and conquer. They piss off the moderate to right-thinking Americans that still live in Illinois. And what they've ostensibly done is alienated these people, and they don't vote any longer. So that's why you have these wackos that are running the state, the city, and the county. And it's a shame, because as you know, it's going down. We're at the brink of the abyss. How in Christ's name do you lose the Chicago Bears?
I think the state will figure it out. I think the Bears are leveraging Indiana and putting the pressure on, and they already own the property in Arlington. But my point is, it shouldn't come down to this.
No,
that's my point. Like,
that's what they always do.
Leveraging, it shouldn't be like that. Right, left, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be like this. But our state, it just won't allow it.
1.5 million people have left the state since Pritzker's been governor. What does that tell you? I mean, John, you're a businessman. You're a small businessman in the state of Illinois. Look at your tax. Are you going to see the tax man today? God help you. If I was you, I'd move over the border in the state of Indiana. Honest to God,
a lot of my friends did that. They bought property right over the state line to have all the social benefits of Chicago, but all the Indiana taxes and property and everything. And here's the other challenge Illinois has always had. You have Chicago and everything else.
That's right.
And that's really, really challenging when you have that booming metropolis, urban city with all those people, and then the rest of the state, which is a lot larger than people realize, is rural farmland. And that's the majority of the physical state, but all the actions in Chicago and a lot of the people, that's always been a challenge. But I don't want to make this all political. I'm just saying I find it entertaining in a way to see everybody play the games. That's my only point.
And honestly, I could do a 3-hour podcast on this whole thing. I really could. And I bring receipts and I bring my experience. And unfortunately, we got to sit here and take this. We're fighting them off one at a time here. And at the end of the day, I'm so thankful for your show and everything that you do, because it is a great diversion, right? We all need a diversion. And the what's the old Chinese proverb? May you live in interesting times. Be careful what you wish for, right? I mean, these are interesting times, but thank God, so when you look at Notre Dame and thank God what's going on with the football program, that sustains us a little bit because we're so wired in.
Yeah.
And it is a great diversion, just like music or whatever your thing is to get your mind out of the day-to-day nonsense. And I'll tell you, you brought up Marcus Freeman earlier. Year 5, what do you expect? I expect greatness out of him. I really do.
Yeah.
I think you'll see greatness. I could be wrong. I think we're over the hump with his on-the-job training. I think he knows and he's locked in. He's got some real good coaches behind him and, everything. Look, the proof's in the pudding with the recruiting. So I'm not worried about the schedule, but I saw Nick Shepkowski's article first thing this morning about Texas possibly jumping off because of some SEC bullshit that's going on. So it doesn't look like we're on the road to joining a conference. We have to be. You just have to be realistic. Now, I don't know what that looks like as the playoff expansion comes round.
That's my question, Tom. Let me ask that. That's my question. One of the shows I think you weren't in for and missed, I brought this up. If they expand that playoff to 16 or 24, does that lessen the scheduling pressure on Notre Dame? Because teams will be more open to scheduling Notre Dame because one loss won't knock you out of the playoff.
Yeah.
Like, will that relieve some of the scheduling pressure Notre Dame faces? I don't know.
Yeah, and at some point, if that's the case, then it becomes the ticket receipts, right? The gate receipts. Yeah, maybe Notre Dame starts playing the Alabamas, the Texases, the Georgias more often. They'll do it in a neutral site, possibly. Like a Shamrock Series type game, or you know what? I would rather have it a home and home. Let's play them at Tuscaloosa. Let's play them back up in South Bend. Christ, they did that in the 1970s. They started that home and home, and God bless Bear Bryant. He wasn't afraid to leave Alabama. I still think Kirby Smart would sign on for that, and I think Texas would as well, as long as I think Texas just dropped Arizona State off the schedule, is what Shapkowski said. And I start thinking about it. You know what? There's too many variables that we do not know. All we can do is speculate, just like spring ball's coming up, and what are they going to look like this year? I don't know. But it's a fun diversion. It's fun to talk about.
Yeah, it really is. And I feel like, as frustrated as we are with the ACC arrangement and how little that conference provides us competition-wise and the way the partnership's gone, I feel like Notre Dame's prudent move here is to roll with the schedule the way it is and wait and see what the expansion's like. And then you could pivot if you need to pivot. And if you don't, maybe you could get a robust, well-rounded schedule without having to join a conference because of that expansion. I think Notre Dame right now, you stay put and you see what happens with the landscape and you adjust then if you need to be. Pete's got to keep us nimble. Pete's got to keep us with optionality and be able to move if we need to move and pivot. That's what I need Pete to do. Keep us in a position where we can adjust.
I agree. I know there's been some harsh criticism of Pete, especially from our buddy West Palm Pat. He calls him a candy ass. I just don't see that. After his first couple of interviews that I saw when he took over, he's all in on Notre Dame football. And I just don't think the guy's a bullshitter. I think he's there. Obviously, he's got to play a political game a little bit. But that whole thing, did he make it?
Hey, the basketball, that's a big test for Pete. I do agree. It is beyond like the level here that's acceptable. That is a big test for Pete, man. Year three of a 4-year deal, totally failing. No light at the end of the tunnel, trending the wrong way.
Yeah.
Does he have the guts to say this is just not good enough and we got to let the guy go?
100%. Look, it's college basketball. I haven't paid attention to it since the NBA started really pillaging, kids that, they play their freshman year and go to Kentucky or Duke or Kansas, and then they're in the big game. It lost its luster when the rivalries of Notre Dame, Marquette, DePaul, St. John's, the big Eastern schools, that all went away. Of course, UCLA. We got spoiled during the Digger years because there were great games, and that they're so far removed from that. I don't know how you fix it. I really don't. It again, like college football, coaching is everything. So you'd have to get a young Digger or a young Rick Pitino type guy, or Coach Krzyzewski, that would be able to come in there under the auspices of Pete and get it done.
Why don't you find the basketball Marcus Freeman, a hot up-and-comer taking over something? I don't know. No, it can't be worse than whatever this has been.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just.
And there's also, Tom, the other part is there's also now been things extending beyond just the box score that people don't like going after that ref and some of the press conference stuff. Like, you're also getting some off the court stuff that when you're losing on the court, nobody has patience for off of it. It's bad. It's not trending right. Pete needs to make a statement and just fire the guy. Whatever.
Yeah. No, and it's sad for the students at Notre Dame, because there's only 2 electric stadiums that I've ever been in: the old Chicago Stadium, and the ACC. When DePaul or UCLA was in there, or some big school, that place rocked. 11,000 people, and it rocked. I mean, I'm getting goose pimples now thinking about being at those games. And it's a shame that that's kind of evaporated.
But Tom, I gotta tell you, man, I was too young to appreciate it when my dad would say, "Get in the car, we're going to see Michael Jordan play at that old stadium."
Yeah.
Up in the rafters, the dark, dingy, dusty, cobweb in the dark alleyways of that old stadium. And I was too young to appreciate what I was seeing as an 8-year-old kid when dad would go, "We're going to see Michael Jordan play." We're sitting up in the rafters there in that dark, dingy stadium. I loved it. There's nothing like it.
Oh, it smelled like Marlboros and Winstons and stale Budweiser and reefer. Jesus, that was a wild place. And the crowd was, the first time I was at Game 6 of the 1973 Stanley Cup, Blackhawks and Canadians. Pitt Martin scored a hat trick. When he put the third one in, we were sitting in the first balcony, center ice. I grabbed onto my father's sport coat. I thought we were going over that building with shit. I pissed my pants. I thought I was going to die. That's how loud that building was.
Tom, we got a question from the crowd for you. Is Tom going to the blue and gold tailgate?
Great question. I don't know yet because my schedule has just gotten really heavy. So I might be in Florida and Georgia that weekend, but I'm trying to get out of it because I really want to be there.
Yeah.
So I won't know for about 3 or 4 weeks.
It's all good, man. You know where we'll be, and we'll be in touch. Tom, let me ask you this before I let you go. Thanks for jumping in. I want to know.
Yeah.
Is there anything practical or tangible you would like to see Freeman or the program do in August to better insulate us from not being fully ready to go when the season starts? Maybe you say, I need more one-on-one session, good on good, to really test our guys against our physically, not mirroring what the play would be. But then you risk injury. But also, if you don't do that, you risk having a guy out there that can't play and you start 0-2. So, is there anything tangibly you'd want to see the program do, preparation and evaluation-wise, in August to insulate us from some of the early season problems?
Well, I don't know if you can get away with doing this anymore physically, but like what Holtz used to do, he'd line them up on goal line. So he'd start in the red zone, start at the 20, move to the 15, to the 10, down to the 5. And he put 13 to 14 defenders on against the offense. And he goes, block those sons of bitches.
Yeah, get it in anyways. Yeah, get it in anyways.
Iron sharpens iron. That is the worst thing about football. Anybody that's ever played the game, and to hear that coach say, run it again. Yeah. God damn it, run it again. And you're like, and it's complete drudgery. But if they don't have that 8 to 10 days before the season, obviously you got to give them a few days off, relax, sit in the ice baths and all that, and recuperate.
Yeah,
I think sports medicine is a lot further than it ever was, and the nutrition. But they gotta toughen these kids up a little bit. To take the beating that they did in those first 2 games, it just didn't look like they. So honestly, the answer is go back to fundamentals. Yeah. Just get fundamentals. Find your best on best, and it's survival of the fittest. Yeah. And if you can't hack it, hit the bench, kiddo.
And I realize the argument against that is injury risk, but the argument of not doing it is you risk starting 0-2 and it ruins your whole year. So, I know you risk injury if you do more physicality in August, but I got to figure out who could play one-on-one here.
No balls, no babies. Yeah, no balls, no babies. You got to figure it out real soon. So, and I think these kids I think they're still pissed off from last year. I think that, leave no doubt thing. I don't think that's just a slogan. I seen a couple of tapes of them working out in the weight room. They're angry young men, and that's all right by me. Want them angry, I want them to show up in a bad mood and just physically kick the shit out of Wisconsin in the beginning. And I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but by the fourth quarter, I think the physical dominance will be there, and then send a message to the country. You want it? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And you do have an easier opening slate this year. You should be able to ease into that season, work out the kinks, not have to be near perfect to win the game, all the stuff I've been talking about. So it's going to be interesting. And then spring ball, especially transfer guys on defense. I can't wait to see what that defensive line looks like with the new guys in the mix. Offensively, I am interested in everything, Tom. Everything. There's so much new on this offense. I'm interested in seeing it all.
I honestly believe that they're going to blow the doors off of people. I really do. I think it's all there for the taking, as long as Denbrock has the proper game plan. He's got to incorporate the tight ends, and then everything else will follow. That tight end is the key. Yeah. And if I was Denbrock, I would line up like the Bears and the Detroit Lions do, with tight ends as fullbacks in certain situations. I love the way those offenses work. You got to put something back in that offense. That one back set, it doesn't scare anybody, and it doesn't make them think. It's like, okay, well, he can either counter and hand off inside, or because they very rarely pitch the ball outside. Yeah, Goolsby argued it. Goolsby yelled at me one day saying that no, they don't run sweeps anymore. They don't, do they? How about the NFL? Have you seen that? They're still running it in the NFL. If they can run in the NFL, they damn sure can run sprints and wideouts in the college game. I think he's got to incorporate some kind of a fullback in that offense, especially in the red zone. Make them think. And then, the dish you can do off of that is amazing. So with Nolan James and Aeneas Williams, I think those kids are bone tough. They're tough from the ground up. So we got to see.
Yep. It's going to be really, really interesting, Tom. Hey, thanks for joining us here on a Wednesday.
Thank you.
Take care of all that city business you have to get the state running. And Tom, we'll be in touch, brother.
I'm only one man, John. I'm just a speck of dust and a small cog in the wheel. But
aren't we all?
I'm giving them hell, though. I'm giving them hell every day.
Have a good one, Tom. We'll see you. I see a couple people commenting on the ads during the show. I don't know what to tell you guys. I got an email that said, we're changing this so you can make more money. I don't know what you want me to do about it. Sit through it, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So you're just going to have to deal with it, I guess. And you'll get used to it. But I don't know what to tell you. You think I'm in charge of all this stuff? I get an email that says, this is what we're doing now. You make more money. We make more money. It is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. I have no other answer for that. Ooh, split screen now. I didn't know about that part. So anyways, yeah, I was alerted to that change, but I don't know. I have no control over it. If you want to be involved in the pay program, that's just what happens, man. Guys got to make a living around here. JT.
All right, John.
Oh, I know, JT. You're applying to be Notre Dame's next basketball coach. I know. And I think you have all the proper qualifications, brother. You're going to be Notre Dame's next coach. We're going to call him JT Digger Delaney.
We're going to be, let's just be fair here. And let's get all of the qualifications out of the way first that could make it look a little better. to somebody that doesn't actually know what they're talking about. Number one, Duke's the number one team in the country. Number two, we've lost Marcus Burton. I think Kevin Jai's out. There's another guy that's out. And they're playing Carlos Boozer's son. Is on the Duke team, and he is really good basketball player.
Yeah.
With all that said,
can't be this bad.
Put D-Rock's comment up. He made a comment earlier about like the 1898 thing. If you can find that up in the chat box, could you put that up on the screen under the split screen of us? Because I just want people to realize how bad this team is compared to any other basketball team that has come to this university in over 100 years.
Yeah, it's off the radar. It's off the radar bad. And so if you are Pete Bavacqua, do you make a move? Even if it was a 4-year deal, do you say there's no light at the end of the tunnel? You're trending the wrong way. You gotta go. Is that where this is headed?
I would have started making those calls after Shrewsbury went full Earl Weaver on the referee to try to get the money to pay the buyout at the end of the season. Now, I'm calling people and saying, look, he's fired. Look, he's fired. I need the money today.
Yeah, nice reference to Earl Weaver, by the way. I really do appreciate that. That's an old-time favorite of mine. Nice reference there. JT, what about on the basketball side? I'm going to ask you the similar question that I asked Tom. What are you looking for Freeman to improve in year 5? The learning curve should be over. He should be hitting his stride, his prime as a coach. Where are you at with that?
Where am I? Let's see. He's got to do a lot better at preparing the team to play well in September, especially if these big power schools are only wanting to schedule us that early. Mm-hmm. We've got to be ready to go that early.
Yep.
Because those are going to be the primary games we're going to play, especially after the University of Spoiled Children decided to replace us with a week 0 game. This isn't really confirmed at all, but North Dakota State might be a contender for that. Even Sacramento State now, with their absolutely insane deal to join the MAC. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I did hear about it. Yeah, man, I don't know. You got to get out to a better start, and you gotta. There's something that hasn't quite clicked early in the year. Notre Dame Freeman teams have finished just ending the year so much better than they start them, and a lot of teams go the other way where they start hot and unravel. You got to get this equation figured out. And I think they will this year, man. Easier schedule to start, some talent to rely on. Your quarterback's coming back. I think they'll be in a better position.
Yeah. And speaking of the NFL draft, Notre Dame basketball player Carson Towd signed with a football agency. And he's looking to transition. But I think it's really sad for the game of basketball that the best rebounder in the country is choosing to pursue the NFL rather than go to the NBA. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's like it. I see Renee's comment about just let him finish his contract. I know you're real big into women's basketball, Renee. I know you want your niece to go on the women's basketball team, win a national championship. I don't even know
Off
how
the
I can
reservation.
compare this.
I understand the argument of letting him run out the 4 years, but there has to be like it can't be this off the reservation on the downside. Like that's my argument against it is if you were struggling but showed signs of life or a light at the end of the tunnel, that's different. I don't see that. So that's where I'm at. It's off the reservation of what rebuilding looks like or any hope. You're way below that, man.
Right. And and as for basketball coaching candidates, the people that I would want, and people in the comments are going to laugh at me because there ain't no way. I want Nate Oates, Bruce Pearl, maybe a Pitino. I'll take
that Notre Dame's not bringing no Patino in here with his baggage. I'm all for getting a young, energetic guy that wants his break, and then you tell him he could do whatever with this program and rebuild. I would even be fine with that. This is not Notre Dame football. It's Notre Dame basketball. They're used to not mattering. So go with some young, energetic guy would be what I would like. JT, anything else, buddy? I got to hurry up and get out of here today. I'll give you the last word.
Okay. As everybody saw, I got a viewing to attend this afternoon. Please pray for my family.
Well, that makes 2 for you in the last 24 hours if you include the basketball game.
Actually, I didn't even watch the basketball game. I was actually in playing the NASCAR video game. Some guy roped me into doing a race with his league, a practice race, and that actually turned out really poorly too.
Yeah.
So It's like, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to get out of here. We better figure this September thing out. It's a problem. Anyway, I know you got to go, so let's.
Hey, JT, God bless you, man. We'll be thinking of you and your family, and do what you got to do there, brother. And then get your mind off it. Come back here Friday. We'll have a little fun, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one, buddy. Oh man, I love that guy. Eric, what's going on?
What's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, what are we talking about today? I got on late. I'm off work again.
We were talking a little bit about how off the reservation bad the basketball program is at Notre Dame, coming off a 40-something point beatdown at home. And then the question I had related to football, Eric, it's good to hear from you again, buddy. The question I had about the football is Freeman in year 5, the training wheels are off. He's not a new coach learning on the fly with all that learning curve. What do we expect from Freeman now as he hits the middle part of the stride of his career? What do we expect him to tighten up to show he ain't the new guy anymore?
Damn, John.
Yeah.
Let me start off with something light. The basketball team is trash, and I don't know what's going on with that.
It's bad.
I got to touch on that a little bit because it's starting to be comical. And I'm Notre Dame through and through, like just football. But that basketball program, I'm like, y'all might. I don't know what they're going to do with the basketball, but I was hoping that the money would trickle down for the basketball team so they can get better recruits and they have a better program. But anyway, I'll leave that alone. But when it comes to football, man, yeah, you're right. Marcus Freeman it's just show improved time. And a lot of things that people don't think about, don't care about is like he's a first-time head coach, bro.
Yeah.
Like do you know how many people that would want to sit in his seat that got experience? Like, how does he was just there.
Yep.
And the players just loved him. So hey, Swarbrick, he took a big chance on Marcus Freeman. And you know, I didn't want Luke Fickle or none of the people that he was talking about getting, because I'm like, hey man, we need somebody fresh, young, and they took a chance on Marcus Freeman. So, but now it's put up or shut up time for Marcus Freeman. And no
So
excuse.
are you done with like the understanding and the new guy and the figuring it out and give the guy a break? Are you over that? It's already year 5. Are you like, you should be in your prime? I can't have these tactical mistakes. You got to be ready when the season starts in September. You better use those August weeks of practice, right? Like, are you at that level of expectation for the guy?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm like, we better not walk out of September with no blemish on our record. Period.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't want to hear, like you say all the time, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it either.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I love you, but bro, get it together. Like, you built the team that you said you were going to build. You have everything at your disposal as far as recruits, players. I don't want to hear it, you know. So, you know, I'm just go Irish, man. We have a deep team, man, and there's like no reason for excuses this year, bro. So I don't care who the coach is, but I give him credit because he built this team further than Brian Kelly ever could. And salute to Brian Kelly. I know we hate him. I know he get on our nerves with his sideline antics and purple face, but he got us here. He got us to the point to where somebody could come in and just elevate. Yeah. And Marcus Freeman elevated it. So that's all I really got to say, John. Like, I had to call in today. I'm off today. I'm battling COVID. So, but yeah, I just want to call in and say, go Irish, man. And you know, I love the show, love the nation. But Marcus Freeman better get it together this year. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Hey, thanks for joining, and I hope you feel better. There's a lot going around. Everybody I know has had some sickness. I had it. My family had it. Whether it's the virus or a cold or the weather or sinuses, everybody's got something. So I hope you feel better, man.
Yeah, it's weird, man. But you know, much love to the Irish Nation. Much love to all y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, thanks for having me on, John. And y'all have a great rest of the week.
I appreciate it, Eric. We'll see you, man. Join whenever you can. Happy to have you. Take care. Feel better, buddy. SPF. John, I was listening to Monday's show. My God, your whole take on the SEC was comical. I do not respect it, and they're not good at football. Where am I wrong? I'm going to put up one of those tables on a campus and just say, prove me wrong. Like, tell me where I'm wrong. In my opinion, the ACC has one team that garners respect right now. One. It would really help if Florida State and Clemson didn't unravel and fall apart. And you could have Miami and those traditional names, but you don't have that. You have Miami and nothing. There's no other elite roster. There's no other elite talent. You have one team that moves the needle and nothing else. You have one and nothing else. And that cost Notre Dame last year because you played the only one with the talent, got beat by them, played out the end of the season against all the other teams that presented you no chance to move the needle, including Pitt. That was all a manufactured narrative that Pitt was good. They benefited from beating a lot of those teams we were beating that made them look good. So I don't respect the talent in the conference. There's one elite roster in the whole conference. One that has top-end talent. One. The rest of it is nothing. Then you add on top, the rest of it just hurts Notre Dame's schedule. Then you get into the business part of it. They're a fiduciary partner, but they're talking crap about you. You have that part of it. But I do not respect the conference. They're not good at football. They have one good team, and you let them beat you. That's our fault. But overall, where am I wrong? There is no other elite roster in the whole conference. One team has an elite athletic roster. One. That's it. You got to tell me where I'm wrong, SPF. Then he said, you need them more than they need you or whatever. Maybe that's the case. And I'm saying you just ride out the ACC agreement till the playoff expands a lot, and then you see it what you need to do schedule-wise or whatever. I'm just saying They have one team with talent. That's it. They have one team anyone in the country respects at all. One. And then if you lose to them, there's no benefit of beating all the other ones. So it's just not. I don't enjoy it. Yawn fest. The whole back half of Notre Dame's schedule last year after USC, yawn festival. Festival of yawns. Festival of yawns. Okay? The same could be said about Notre Dame. They are the only decent team in the independent conference. I don't think you're understanding what independence means, Kent. He's calling it the, am I crazy? He's calling it the independent conference. But it's just a list of the independent teams. Am I crazy? Oh, Brendan, what's going on? Good morning, brother.
John, good morning, sir. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well, man. People are they're grieving over the basketball. Kent, I'm glad it was a joke because it was starting to mess with my head.
I'm fortunate. No emotional attachment to basketball. One thing I would say, which I think we might need to be realistic about. I would much rather Notre Dame just go all in, and I don't know the business behind the scenes, but there might be sacrifices to be made on the basketball front and maintaining competitive, because I'm sure the NIL thing is a big deal for that side of the athletics department as well. And if there's only so much to go around, it might be something that, whereas 30 years ago, you could kind of strike a good balance between resources going to each program. The reality might just be, hey, Notre Dame gives in a lot of other areas, right? And, I'll get to the point about the Mylan Graham comment in a little bit, but, that's a reality. And if the consequence of that is, hey, sorry, Shrewsbury or the next guy, we don't have a big budget for your freshman class. That's all going to, football. And it just is what it is. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's
Brendan, let me go through the way I view basketball at Notre Dame. And tell me if you agree with this. In some ways, I wouldn't like that job because you're always the stepchild and you're never going to be the main priority and get the main consideration for money, resources, facilities, whatever, because football is what moves the needle and pays the bills and what your history is. So in one respect, it would be a challenge to be the Notre Dame basketball coach because you're always the second kid that gets the attention. But in another way, there's freedom in that. Because everybody isn't analyzing every single thing you do every second of your life and ripping it apart the way they do football. There's some freedom in not being the main. There's a little looseness to it because you're not under that intense scrutiny 24/7 that the football is. And there's some room to operate in there and grow a little bit without that immense pressure. Very unique situation, the men's basketball at Notre Dame.
Yep. And I don't think, I see the headlines where they're getting crushed and they're terrible or whatever, right? So that's certainly not what the university should be supporting. I guess my only point would be is, we used to dog Brian Kelly for getting the RKGs. The reality might be for the foreseeable future that the basketball program is going to be a RKG. Maybe that's the best case scenario is that you get a lot of guys who are try hard and natural kind of Notre Dame fits. And are they going to be crushing the AAU leagues and the number one, I don't know what they call them, 5 stars or whatever in basketball, but are we getting those guys? Maybe not, but we should present a presentable product. What I really want to talk about this morning, John, is the Mylan Graham comment. So he was the OSU wide receiver commit who transferred over, and he was asked the question about the biggest difference between Ohio State and Notre Dame. And he mentioned, kind of an offhand comment about, we have to actually go to class. Yeah. And, it sparks the debate about, there's the North Carolina scandal where they had made up majors. And then, we self-reported the tutor writing a paper for someone in 2013 or something and got rid of the quarterback. I'm under no illusions that, Jeremiah Love needs to be an aeronautical engineer or that Leonard Moore needs to be, a physics, quantum mechanics major or anything. But I do think it's very important that to the bitter end, Notre Dame maintains some semblance of the student athlete, and that it is very important to our identity that we do respect. Really, I guess I view it as a respect for the young men, because I think it's terrible when you look at some of these SEC programs and the graduation rate sucks. They put them in bull garbage majors. they have no hope, right? Like the reality is that a small percentage of folks are going to go to the NFL and have long, successful careers.
Yep.
And that a big part of fandom, at least for me, is, that student athlete means something, that, going to class means something, that living in the dorms means something, and that it's a respect for the young men that we're, including in the family. And I think that goes a long ways. Well, it's one of the last vestiges of what makes college football and not NFL like.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you, and I think Notre Dame's always going to try and thread that needle, and try and maintain that's the challenge. Maintain Notre Dame values while keeping up with the Joneses in the modern game that trends the other way. That is, like, in essence, Pete Bavacqua's main job. How do you thread that needle between maintaining the values and keeping up with the times? It's not easy to do the way things move so fast these days.
Yep. And so, again, we're the pretty hardcore, right? Because we're listening to John Kennedy in February talking about Notre Dame football.
That's a really good point.
What is the fans' role in that process? For now, I think, we're supporting Coach Freeman just like we're supposed to, and he's doing all the right stuff and saying all the right stuff. If and when, they get a new guy in there and he's like, yeah, hey, I've got these chains on me, I can't do it. We got to have, just think, what was it? CJ Stroud, like, literally never went to Ohio State's campus. Like, he's like, I'm here to play football. I do my own thing. I go to the football thing and not involved at all. Like, we'd have to push back if and when it ever gets to that. And, heaven forbid it ever does. But I just, when we're talking about our identity and what Notre Dame is and what it should be, the student athlete part is good. And I think it's really good that, it's just refreshing that a transfer kind of offhand talked about that. And then two, we really stick to the independent. So I push back a little bit on the mayor's comments about joining a conference. It's not so much if and when college football transitions to the big, what it has to be. I think for real, man, I'm in the position, like, I want Notre Dame to be genuinely shut out of the playoffs because the conference has blackballed them before we make a move. Like, I think we got to hold fast to independence to the very end.
My hope is this thing expands to 16 or 24. More of these administrations and athletic directors start thinking we can afford to schedule another tough game or two because we have more leeway to be able to lose a game or two and make the playoff than we did in a 4-teamer or a 12-teamer. And then Notre Dame gets out of the squeeze of the whole thing of, like, Texas not wanting to go out of conference and risk losing a game and miss the playoff like they did against Ohio State. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that the expansion of that allows Notre Dame a more robust, well-rounded schedule without having to commit to one of these conferences. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot to do that. Looking forward to it. Hey, I would just, a PSA or unsolicited advice. Again, for folks who are listening in February, I'm fixing to head out on travel for a while, so I won't be on quite so often, John. But I would highly encourage, if you look at your chat, there's only so many likes. As I understand the algorithm, that helps out. So if you're in there monitoring chat, you can drop John a like. And then I do try to make a point, and I just encourage guys who are trying to help the business in the off season. A simple comment I think also helps the algorithm when you put the videos out Tuesday, Thursday. So appreciate the work, John. Appreciate the show, and looking forward to a strong 2026.
Brendan, I really appreciate that. Man, there are just times of the year here where no matter what you do, you're going to have a dip. And now to spring ball is one of them. And then May to August. And you just have to, like, it's just going to be, there's just the casual people go on with their lives, man. People go get busy and do stuff. Like, there's 2 times a year where you get a big dip in the analytics. And then we're in the middle of one of them. I can't wait for spring ball so we could perk back up.
Yep. And I don't know if you see it from your end, but, like, do you get, if does more likes tend to actually equal more views or whatever? I don't know. Hey, the last thing, kind of unsolicited advice. I found myself when I was making a big drive across the country, and I was looking up your old crash out videos. So I was looking at, like, Marshall or NIU and that kind of thing. A compilation of that might be a good thing. It's also good to kind of remind us of where we were and where we could be. So I don't know, something to think about.
Yeah,
but appreciate the show, John.
It's a really good idea. I think I try and block out some of those, you know what I mean? Like emotionally protect myself and block them out, but that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. Thank you.
All right, John, have a good one. Appreciate the show.
Safe travels. Have a good one. What a nice guy, man. Oh man, Tex ND on the cusp of 15K subs. I remember that the sub 8K days. Man, I'm looking at 20, but you just don't get growth in the off season with your sub count when you're doing football. You get it all in the season, and then it all plateaus and dips, and then it goes up. It's all of my years of YouTube, the curve is the exact same. August to January is big. And then whenever it's the off season, everything levels out. It's frustrating. You got to put up the content. It's frustrating. The John Crash Out compilation will feed families. Some of it, man, I just try and block it out. Some of these post-game shows, Northern Illinois, Ohio State 23, some of these, you guys, I've been so mad that I was seeing stars. Like, you know, in the cartoons where they're so mad, they're steaming and you see stars. There have been some of these post-game shows where I come in and I literally, like the cartoon, I see these stars floating around because I'm so mad. And I have no time to process it. The game ends, you go live 1 minute. There's no time to like get it together in your own mind. You're experiencing it all live. Oh, there's some tough things there, man. There's some tough things there. Yeah, Ken's like, oh man. Kent's like, yeah, what did you think? No kidding. In the offseason, when there's no games, views on a football channel are going to go down. You know what I'm going to say I'm jealous for? I do mean this. There are many content creators that do what I do in the SEC. Unbelievable numbers they get for baseball. It's astounding to me. A lot of these guys do the football in the SEC, and obviously you get great numbers. They're now doing baseball, and they do great numbers. Imagine me trying to do a live call-in show on a post-game Notre Dame baseball situation. So good for those guys because they got meat on the bone even when it's the football offseason because baseball culture so big in the SEC, they do really, really good numbers. So I'm jealous. We just don't have that. So it's just now to spring ball, low. May to August, low. It is what it is. 559 on the line. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, John? Right here. A little bit busy, caught up.
The man's he's building America.
So let me make this quick and fast. And sorry if I disrespect anybody, if I offend anybody, and put your feelings all in a bunch. Because we sound like a bunch of B.
In what way? In what way? In what way? Explain it.
Well, because like we complain about how Marcus Freeman, September this, September that, which some of it is valid. I don't hold Marcus Freeman last year accountable because at what point do you hold your players accountable? At what point you hold everybody else accountable for their mistake? He said it in the video. Before we point the finger at everybody, look at ourselves. And some of that we did to ourselves. We were over here overhyping and saying we're number one, we're going to split, we're going to win both. And some of it fell on our face. Same thing with our work. When we don't meet deadlines at work, ain't nobody but ourselves. All right, so let's stop bitching about certain things and hold each other accountable. You know what I mean? That's what pisses me off. We're good to point the finger at everybody else, but not hold yourself accountable and hold your own people accountable. I hate that. And maybe I say this because I'm so angry at certain things that are going on in my life, especially with my father's health. And I'm really talking to you with a heavy heart. A decision is going to be made this weekend, and we should be happy that we got friends, we got family members, and we have each other. We have come along. We all want one thing, and that's that national championship. And stop complaining that because we're there. Yes, Marcus Freeman, get the job done. We all believe in you, and we all want this. That's the one thing that we can agree. Other than that, you know what? Like, hey, Renee, I know you're hearing me. Thank you for calling me yesterday. I appreciate it, my boy.
Hey,
that meant a lot to me. Sometimes
we'll get a candle lit for you. We'll get a candle lit for Pops, man. It can't hurt.
Yeah, but when you're 5 hours away from your family, it hurts a lot. You know what I mean? You got to wait for certain days to get there. But I got to get going, John. I got to finish this day out and the rest of my day. Love you guys. Go Irish. We will win this natty. Let's stop crying about it. Let's stop complaining about it. Let's come together and figure out how we're going to be there for 16 days and tell everybody we're leaving. No freaking doubt. And you have a nice day. Bye.
Have a good one, Renee. Or Louise, rather. Oh, I love that guy. Nikki Dean, $5 holler. I want to know if anybody joined the Orange County Alumni Club to get those tickets. Yeah, we had a bunch of people do it. A bunch of people did do that. A lot of Miami tickets requests from the Notre Dame, the Orange County Alumni Group. A lot of them. Lee, I'm sorry. We've been MIA. We've had delays and all sorts of things messed up with the snow. Yeah, Liam. You guys just keep getting dumped on and dumped on and dumped on. Every time another weather cycle comes, Liam's area gets buried. He needs that beard just to keep the snow and the ice off it. You know what I'm saying? That's what he needs. All right, you guys, I got to get going. Good little quick show today. Thanks to everybody that's here. We're in this low period of the news. No, you do not text. That was the big thing with that. People didn't know you didn't have to be an alum to join the alumni club and get early access to tickets at face value. That was the whole point of why it was cool for our group, because you don't have to be an alumni to pay the yearly fee to be in the club that gives you the early access. That was the whole point of the bit with my people. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Even when the news cycle's slow, we're going to get through it together. Before you know it, spring ball beer, we'll have more action, and then we'll figure out how to entertain ourselves through the summer. Have a good one, you guys. Thanks for being here.